he slipped a ring on her finger, then demanded she become his secret mistress because a prettier face caught his eye. She walked into the ring, boarded a helicopter, and vanished for 18 years. When they meet again, she has a loving husband and 2 kids. He has nothing, no company, no lover, no health. On the London street, he sobs. You'll always be my rose. She smiles and walks past. He dies alone in a cafe on Karna by street, waiting for a woman who already bloomed in another man's garden. Desolate regret, cheaper than weeds.
As if he was the only one who could shield me from ridicule. I have an aunt who runs a huge business and wields immense power abroad. She came to me last week and asked if I'd like to go overseas with her. I turned her down back then, unable to bear leaving Nathan. But now, I sent her a message. Auntie, I've made up my mind. I'm going with you. She replied instantly. Wonderful. I'll send a private jet to pick you up in 3 days. I should have been happy, yet tears streamed down my cheeks uncontrollably. A sharp ache gnawed at my heart, like the sting of a venomous bug. I had planned to tell Nathan about my aunt as a pleasant surprise, but there was no longer any need. Seeing me cry, Nathan assumed I was heartbroken over our impending split. He reached out to wipe my tears.
Look at you, crying just because I mentioned breaking up. If I really left you someday, you'd surely fall apart. You'll get nowhere throwing tantrums. Only by obeying me can you avoid being left hopeless again.
I sniffled and said nothing. Nathan thought he had talked me round. He started the car engine, only to stop halfway.
Oh, right. From today on, you'll have to sit in the back seat. That young lady said no one else can take the passenger seat from now on. And I gave her my word. I can't break a promise. I always keep my promises. I said I'd take care of you for life, and I still will. Even though I'm marrying someone else. You haven't heard yet, have you? We're getting our marriage certificate in 3 days.
It took me ages to wear her down. I dare not upset her anymore. She's not as easy to soothe as you are.
She calls herself a red rose. If you love her bloom, you have to accept her thorns.
I felt as if I'd truly been pricked by a rose thorn, a sharp, stinging pain shooting through my palm. I looked down and realized I'd scraped my hand on a sharp stud earring while unbuckling my seatbelt. Fresh blood welled up at once. Nathan saw it too and exclaimed sharply,
"Why are you so clumsy?"
I'd thought he was worried about me, about to tell him it was nothing. This physical pain was nothing compared to the agony in my heart. But his next words dragged me straight back into despair.
She's a clean freak. If she finds her favorite jewelry stained with your blood, she'll be furious.
So my blood was dirty in his eyes. Dizzy with pain, I stared at him numbly for a long time.
Let it slide this time. I'll cover for you. Don't touch her things from now on.
He pulled out a disinfectant wipe and carefully polished the earring spotless. My palm was still bleeding, the blood trickling down onto my leg. After wrapping the earring in a clean tissue and tucking it carefully into the car's front compartment.
What are you still sitting there for? Didn't you hear me? Get in the back seat.
No need. I'll get a taxi instead.
Fine by me. There's a company banquet tonight, and I'm taking her to pick out a gown. Head home by yourself.
I walked to the platform, soaked to the bone. Everyone looked at me like I was a fool. And fool I indeed was. Even now, my mind kept replaying all the kindness Nathan had once shown. The truth about my mother being a mistress came to light when I turned 18. She drove the legal wife and her unborn child to their deaths, thinking she could take their place. But after his wife and child passed away, the man finally came to his senses and cut all ties with my mother completely. In the end, my mother gave birth to me alone. A scandal blew up 18 years later, when the man posted a public letter of remorse online. While netizens condemned him, they dug up my mother's past as well. Once her story was exposed, I was dragged into the spotlight too. Even after my mother ended her life amid relentless cyberbullying, women who had suffered at the hands of mistresses still refused to leave me alone. My schoolmates were relatively mild. They would simply point fingers at me and curse that mistresses deserved a terrible end. Every day, a crowd waited at the school gate to pelt me with rotten eggs and vegetable scraps. A mistress's daughter will grow up to be just like her. This torment went on for more than half a year, until Nathan stepped forward and pulled me out of that dark life.
Who says a mistress's daughter is bound to become a mistress in future?
He grabbed one of the women and asked,
What does your daughter do for a living?
She works as an accountant at a big company.
And what about you?
The woman faltered and fell silent. Another woman spoke up for her.
She cooks for workers at a construction site.
There you go. Your daughter turned out nothing like you.
After that, my life slowly returned to normal. Soon after, Nathan began to pursue me. He held an umbrella for me on rainy days and shielded me from the sun when it was bright. Sometimes in the cafeteria, classmates would spitefully dump leftover food and soup onto my seat. He would always step forward to rebuke them.
Did any of you get to choose your parents before you were born?
No one could find a word to say. The students hung their heads in shame. To be honest, I had never wanted to fall in love before meeting him. My mother's story had left me with deep psychological scars. He was like a ray of light, gradually chasing away all the darkness within me. Now, standing in the pouring rain, I could not make sense of it all. How could someone who had once been so kind change into the person he was today? Suddenly, everything was black, and I collapsed to the ground. I woke up after dark, lying in a hospital bed with an IV drip inserted in the back of my hand.
You've been too emotionally roped, the doctor said. Calm down and get plenty of rest.
I will. Right then, my phone rang. It was Nathan. After hesitating for a long while, I answered.
Scarlett's gown got stained. Go fetch the starry night dress I had made for you and bring it over for her to wear.
So her name was Scarlett. The starry nightgown had been custom designed just for me by a fashion designer, meant to be worn at our wedding night party. Once, Nathan would not let anyone so much as touch it, claiming it would sully our love. Now he asked me to hand it over to another woman so casually. It no longer mattered, I supposed.
Nathan, I'm hooked up to an IV right now.
You're perfectly fine. Why are you getting an IV?
Don't throw a tantrum at a time like this or you'll regret it.
Very well. I would do this one last thing for him.
To repay him back then. I asked the nurse to pull out the needle before the drip finished. Braving the heavy rain once more, I took a taxi home to get the gown and hurried to deliver it to him.
Scarlett's waiting for you at the entrance to thank you. Behave yourself.
And ended the call. But the woman named Scarlett gave me no thanks, only a sharp slap. Caught completely off guard, I froze in shock, stumbling half a circle on the spot, and the gown slipped from my hands, falling to the ground. Scarlett immediately burst into tears, putting on a hurt.
Sister, you could have just said no. Why ruin the dress like this?
Breno Nathan walked over. Scarlett turned to him accusingly.
Nathan, is this the obedient, sensible girl you told me about, the one who give me any trouble?
Nathan glanced at the gown on the floor and thought he had figured everything out. He slapped me hard across the face again.
I've clearly spoiled you rotten. Apologize to Scarlett at once.
Nathan, you're far too judgmental. Do you even know how I got this slap mark on my left cheek?
Scarlett made no attempt to hide the truth. She tugged at Nathan's sleeve coquettishly.
I hit her. Nathan, you won't blame me, will you? I lost my temper and struck her. Because she threw the gown on the ground. I've always had a bad temper.
Nathan wrapped an arm around her waist without hesitation.
I don't blame you. You did the right thing.
Scarlett shot me a triumphant smile. Once those 3 days were over, I would vanish from their world entirely.
I'm sorry, Miss Scarlett. I shouldn't have dropped your gown. An apology has to be sincere. What should I do to prove my sincerity? Admit in front of everyone that you want to be Nathan's mistress. I have no desire to be a mistress. Nathan and I are already through.
I took off the ring meant for our wedding right before her eyes.
Take this back. We're done for good.
Nathan froze. He made no move to catch it, and the ring clattered to the ground.
I say you do. And that's that.
Scarlett grabbed me by the arm and dragged me into the hotel lobby.
Everyone, come look. This woman is desperate to be someone's mistress.
Isn't this young Master Nathan's girlfriend? We broke up. My girlfriend now is Scarlett, the company's new secretary.
One woman stepped forward and sneered.
I always said a mistress' daughter would turn out the same. It's a shame you once stood up for her.
She even slapped herself twice.
Scarlett leaned into Nathan's arms as she spoke. I noticed his expression turned distinctly awkward, yet he echoed her words.
You're right, darling.